All right. Yoga. We're going to do the yoga. So we're going to start lying on our backs with our legs up a wall, up on a couch, pillows under our knees, however you want to do that. So I will give you a minute, a few moments. I'm going to stay seated so you can still hear me. To get yourself set up, you can just scooch up your hips up as close to whatever you're using, whether that's a wall or furniture, and then lie on your back, let your legs come up. Most important, just legs are above the heart. And that brings in a nice inversion, which is great for decompressing, grounding. It's even a little detoxing because we're bringing all the blood from our feet and legs back into our core to get all that swished around. And it can help with headaches, pressure headaches. And another thing that's really nice while you're here, you can just take your pointer finger and your thumb and bring those right to the top of where your nose meets your forehead, that where it starts to go off into your brow, and give that a little press in and slightly up, as much as pressure as feels good to you. And you can just hold that for a little bit of time. You can always move those fingers around to whatever. You can usually find little pressure points that feel nice. Some people like to use the fingers to circle right at that area. And while you're doing that, just take some nice deep breaths while you're here. And let the rest of your body find a sense of effortlessness. Let everything just become slow. Take some full breaths, long, long exhales out. Feel the earth underneath you. And just let everything be heavy and soft. There might be a little effort if you're still pressing into those pressure points. Everything else, though, just gets to melt downward. And you can even check in, readjust different parts of your body to help get extra comfortable, to get extra effortless, we'll say. And really focusing on full breath in, full breath out. And again, noticing the ground underneath you just brings in that connection that we have to the earth. It kind of taps us into our natural flow, which is like this nice, slow, juicy moment. We usually try to keep up with a faster pace throughout our day, so it takes this practice of slowing down, of some stillness to remember, oh yes, it's productive to be still, to rest. And we're just gathering all of ourselves into this space because we share a lot throughout a day. Our focus, whether that's with tasks or people. And right here, we just get to bring it all back in to nice cleansing, grounding breaths. You get to bring all of yourself into this moment, into this practice. Whatever this practice looks like, however long this practice is, we're here to honor ourselves, to take care of ourselves. I'm making suggestions, but they're just that. You get to make this practice your own. Add things in, take things away. What feels best to you in each changing moment? Just taking a couple more breaths here. Now you can stay as you are because our first movements are just going to be stretching through the legs. So no matter what the legs are up against, you can even scoot back to your mat if you want to for this. Just reach your heels up towards the sky. Find your ankles, maybe circling each one, each direction. Any stretch, any shape with your legs that feels good. You can let your legs come a little bit wider to stretch towards the inner thighs. Happy baby counts here, which is when the knees are bent, lower back is staying pretty grounded, and you can grab to your shins or your ankles, maybe the sides of your feet, depending on the lower back staying grounded. Any little stretch here that feels good with the legs up in the air. And then once you're through there, hugging your knees into your chest, and just give yourself a little rock and roll side to side, a little massage of the back against the ground. You can move your knees all around as you do this. And then I'll give you a moment, if you're not already, to come back to your actual mat so you have some cleared space around you for more movement, but just stay on your back. So we're just going to do a twist first, and I'll start to join you here. So knees into the chest, and then let your knees just fall over to the left side. Your arms can come out to a T, a big T shape, just extensions from your shoulder, and your gaze can look towards the right side. Notice how it feels to stick with that full, slow, steady breath, even in a twist. And now let's switch sides. So inhale, knees through center. Exhale, knees to the right, gaze to the left. Breathing fully. And we're just going to turn this into a slow movement. We're always following the pace of our breath until we forget, and then we remember and we come back to it. So what it's going to look like is inhaling, knees up, and exhaling, knees down to the left. And we're just following our breath with this. So again, inhale, knees up. Exhale, knees to the right. So hands, arms can stay at a T. You can stay facing upward if you want, or you can rotate the neck side to side as well if that feels good. If you're wanting a little bit more, you can always play with straightening the legs some or all the way. As you come side to side, it turns into a little bit more core work here. I just noticed I'm still wearing my puppy slippers, so enjoy. So just keep this going for a couple more rounds, nice and slow. Being intentional about the movement. Notice what parts of your body are helping you, no matter how much the knees are bent. Finishing up this round. You can end after the right side. I think that'll make us even on both sides. Again, give your knees a hug into the chest. And then let your feet come down to your mat. We're going to do our figure four stretch to get into our hips a little bit. So right ankle to the top of the left thigh. You can see it makes that little figure four shape. And we're going to hug in the legs. So you can option to clasp your hands behind the left thigh as you're hugging in. This might be enough right here to just pause, breathe, relax through the upper body, the jaw, neck, shoulders. And you can always play with swaying the legs slowly, or even just swing to the left until you feel that extra stretch on the right side and pause there. It's always options to find stillness or to find little movements that feel nice. We're listening to our bodies and always coming back to the breath. How nice it is to take a full breath in and full breath out, to feel the lungs expand and to let it all go. One more full breath for this side. And let your left foot come back down to the ground. We're going to come right into a different stretch on this side, our psoas stretch. The right foot is coming underneath the left, and the right foot's coming up towards your left hip. Now you can reach your left hand down to grab to that foot. Sometimes we get it, sometimes we don't. And then just let the right knee be heavy. Maybe that means it hits the ground, maybe it's hovering. Either way is fine. This might be enough of a stretch, or you might want to hug in that left knee, and the right hand can even help with that. So we're feeling whatever our body chooses to feel here. Sometimes that looks like a stretch through the right side, the groin, or even the top of the right thigh. And just a couple more breaths here. We're going to do one more stretch for this side. Keep the left knee hugged in, or go ahead and hug it in if you're not already, and let your right leg come along. Another twist. So the right hand guides your left knee across the body, gaze and left arm to the left side. 2 big breaths here. Awesome, back through center. We're just gonna do that, all that on the other side. So both knees bend, figure 4, the left ankle to the right thigh. And then you can hug it in, hands might clasp behind the right thigh. Stillness or gentle sway. Upper body stays soft. Breath stays full and steady. Just pausing here for about 3 more rounds of breath. All right, right foot to the earth, psoas stretched, and now it's the left foot coming under, up towards the right hip. Maybe we're grabbing foot with the right hand, knee, left knee heavy. Can pause here, or hugging in the right knee. Side might feel a little different, that's all right. I'm just gonna breathe here. All right, right knee hugs in. If it's not already, left leg reaching long away from your body. Left hand guides the knee across the body, right arm and gaze to the right side. You might not need to go far to feel this twist. Listen to your body, find your breath. Lovely. Knee back through center. Let both legs reach long. Let your arms reach up overhead. And make a little star shape. So your legs can come a little wider, arms can come a little wider. We're reaching. Breath in. Exhale, hugging knees into your chest. If you want, it's an option to bring your head up towards your knees. And then inhale, reach everything out long. Now you can hover the arms and legs for a more strengthening, or just let them rest on the ground as you reach and stretch open until you're ready to exhale, making your little ball, hugging everything in. 3 more times. Go as slow as you'd like. Stretching with the inhale, curling with the exhale. Maybe one last time. And then just rock to one side. We're just going to slowly, slowly help ourselves up to a seated position. Take your time. So coming to seated, but come to your Baddha Konasana. That's where we bring soles of the feet together and knees wide. We're sitting up tall, reaching the heart up. And so we exhale and we can start to hinge at the hips, come forward, spine can round, head can hang heavy. And again, you can just hang out here with gravity, or you can do a little upper body side to side sway. You can massage your feet while you're here. Couple more breaths. Next, inhale, round yourself up to seated. You can help your knees come up with your hands and reach your legs long out in front of you. Heels pressing away, toes lifting. Maybe a little booty gets moved out of the way because we really want to ground through our sits bones to sit up nice and tall. Hearts lifting, heads lifting, slight tuck of the chin. Hands can be on the top of the thighs or for more support, fingertips to the ground. Maybe your eyes close or your gaze can just soften and take some deep breaths, just sitting up nice and tall. Inviting the shoulders to come slightly down and back, nothing too extreme though. And we're going to add a forward fold. So inhale, reach your arms up. Pause here, give yourself a little stretch one side and then the other, reaching up. And then next, exhale, bend the knees as much as you'd like as you start to fold forward. You can reach for the feet. You can wrap your arms around the legs. If you need a hug, you can just hug yourself in here. I'm all about the hugs today. Head can be heavy. So the more you bend your knees, the more stretch that is for the lower back. Straighter the legs, the more the hamstrings you're going to get the back of the leg. So you can choose. You can move from one into the other to your practice. Only thing mandatory is nice full breath. And a couple more rounds. All right, next inhale, slowly start to come up to seated. Take another breath here and staff pose, sitting tall. All right, so we're gonna kind of come sideways on our mat here. The right leg can stay extended, but as you come sideways, bend your left knee so the left heel is coming in towards your body. And we're gonna do a little maneuver, a little dance move, if you will. Left hand's gonna come to your mat right behind your left thigh. And you can watch me first. We're gonna inhale to lift the hips up. This can be slow, reaching the right arm up and back. It's a nice big stretch. And then exhale to come to sit back down and then reach towards your right foot. So we can do that over and over with the pace of our breath, or you can linger wherever you would like, wherever feels best. But those are the movements offered. Remember, everything is purely a suggestion. Find what feels nice for you. Maybe one or two more rounds if you're flowing. And eventually we're going to meet reaching towards the right foot. That you can bend your right knee as much as you'd like to. And we're just going to fold over that leg. It's just an invitation for the body. No need to force anything. We're meeting ourselves right where we're at and doing our best to love, respect, and accept it. All right, slowly come up. Let's just switch sides. Left leg long, right knee bent in. Foot coming towards your body. Right hand just behind the right thigh. Same little move. Inhale, hips lifting, arms reaching, and coming back down, reaching for the left foot this time. And there's breath. Cleansing, grounding, full steady breath. Couple more rounds. And again, we'll meet reaching towards the left foot. A few breaths here. A little more tightness, a little more tension releasing with each exhale. And again, take your time, slowly come up. While we're here, let's do both legs, reaching wide. Again, invitation. No need for your biggest, baddest split here. Just find your edge where you can reach the heels away and it already feels like a nice stretch in the legs. Again, ground down to the sits bones. Now you might want to lean back and have the hands supporting you on the ground, or maybe the hands are in front of you for support. Maybe there's space to start to come forward. So find your edge where it's like a nice intensity that you can pause and breathe into for just a couple more breaths. And slowly coming up to seat if you're not already. Hands under the knees. It's nice to have that little support as the knees bend in. Let's come to tabletop. So hands and knees on the mat. Little cat-cow over here. So that looks like inhaling belly down, gaze and heart shining forward, and an exhale to round chin to chest and really press your mat away, spreading through the shoulder blades. Now you can stick with that as you're breathing or add any movement that feels good here. Hips can move all around. Head and shoulders can move all around. Listening to your body. You might even want to come to wider hands. They might even be off your mat. To get it more into the chest in front of the shoulders, you can bend your elbows out, dip your heart down, or maybe just doing one shoulder at a time. Help stretching out those hunch and crunch muscles. Okay, let's bring it down to a child's pose. So knees can be close together as you sit back towards your heels. If the forehead doesn't make it to the ground, maybe stack your forearms so it has a place to rest. And you'll notice you might be able to press down that same spot that we used with the hands to press, that little pressure point in between the eyebrows, right? The top of the nose. And just take a moment. You can even rock your head side to side to massage that area. This is child's pose of Balasana. You can come here at any point. Not just for this practice, just in life. If you had enough, come right here. Child's pose. There's a nice supportive ground underneath you. Supportive, nourishing earth underneath you. Give yourself one more full breath here. Inhale to your tabletop once again. We're going to come all the way up to our downward dog. Tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back slowly. See what's here for you in downward dog. Any movement, whether it's pedaling the knees, bending both knees so the heart can reach up and back. Head can just hang out heavy. Neck doesn't have to do much here. Maybe even lifting one leg and another feels good. Find what feels nice. Keep breathing. All right, next inhale, we're going to flow forward to a plank. You can always lower your knees there. Forward until the shoulders are over the wrists. Again, knees up or down. Hold for just one more breath. One more. And then use that next exhale to hug the elbows in as you slowly lower all the way down to your mat. From here, inhale, gently lifting the heart. You can do a little worm side to side. And come back down to center. Press the tops of your feet down into the ground and then lift the heart up. Option to hover your hands. You can bring that little worm side to side back in if you'd like. So strengthening for the lower back, little obliques when we do that side movement. And back down again. You can do one of those again or press into your hands and lift a little higher if it feels good. Take a couple breaths, shoulders away from the ears. Next exhale, lowering back down. Let's get back to our downward dog. You can push up through plank or go through a tabletop. Once in our downward dog, inhale, right heel reaches up and then step through to the top of the mat. Let your back heel spiral down so your back foot's parallel with the back of your mat, and then heel to arch alignment like you're walking on a tightrope with the feet. Right toes still, oh, what are words? Facing the front of your mat. There we go. Right knee bends. Come up to stand for warrior two. This is a nice long and low stance here. Arms can come to a T. Shoulders away from ears. I like to think about stacking the heart over the hips, head over the heart. It's tempting to want to maneuver forward. Let's flow a little bit with this. So inhale, straighten through your right leg, reach your arms up. Gaze can go to the side. Exhale, come back down, bending the right knee, looking just past the right fingertips as arms come to a T. Keep that going. Keep pressing down the outer edge of your left foot. Both feet are staying nice and grounded. Keep moving with your pace of breath, nice and slow. One more time. Take a pause here. Inhale. Exhale, side angle. Elbow to the top of the right thigh. Reach the left arm up and over. Gaze might go up towards the ceiling if your neck is comfortable there. One more breath. Inhale back up through warrior two. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Left hand to left leg. Right knee stays bent as the right hand reaches up and back. Inhale back through warrior two. Triangle poses where we're straightening through the right leg, reaching the right fingertips forward until we want them to come down somewhere on the leg. Some people have space to like reach the ground. I do not, and I want to keep space in the right side of my body as well. And then you can reach the left arm up, fingertips up towards the sky. One more breath. And then inhale, come up. Let's do the same thing on the opposite side. So just switch your feet. Your right toes come in, so that foot's parallel with the top of the mat. Back toes pointing away. If you can't see me, no worries. We're going to do the same exact thing, and then we'll come back. So bend your left knee, warrior two stance, arms to a T, pressing both feet down and away from each other. We'll bring back that flow, inhaling, straightening through the left leg, reaching arms up. Exhale, warrior two, bend the left knee, arms to a T. Keep it going and flowing. Just 2 more rounds. We'll meet back in that warrior two stance. Breath in, exhale, side angle, elbow to the top of the thigh, right arm this time, reaching up and over, maybe looking towards the sky. And back to warrior two for triangle. Lengthening through the left leg, left fingertips reaching forward, and then hand down to the shin. Or the ground, who knows? Right fingertips reaching up. And then come back up. Come to your warrior two, because I forgot a piece. Bend your left knee, reverse your warrior. So right hand to right leg. Left knee stays bent, left arms are reaching up and back. There we go, nice and even. Come back up, straightening through both legs, and come to just a wide-legged forward fold. So left toes can come in, big toes come in towards each other a bit. Reach both arms up, big star shape, and then you can just fold. Heavy head. Sometimes it's nice to nod, just shake the head a little bit. Hands can stay on the ground. You can reach for your ankles. Sometimes it feels nice to clasp your hands behind the lower back and reach up and away. Nice full breath here. You can even sigh out through the mouth. Big audible sigh. Whew. All right, hands back down if they're not already. Let the heels come in so the toes are wider than your heels. Goddess. But for this, guys, bend the knees, let them come wide. Bring your hands to the top of your thighs, thumbs forward. We're going to do our shoulder dips in a goddess stance. So notice shoulders away from the ears. So we're going to take a breath in, heart lifts, exhale, right shoulder comes down. You can look to your left and come back up. Inhale, exhale, left shoulder get down. Just a couple more rounds, take breaks as needed. You're never stuck anywhere. This is Uba strength, lower body. Maybe one more time on each side. Nice, keep the feet there. You can stand up. Let the hips have a little movement side to side, maybe a little dance, a little jig. Let's come to that goddess legs one more time. Your hands can stay on top of the thighs, or you can come to prayer position, or you can come to cactus arms. Either way, let the hips just sink towards the ground just as much as you're comfortable with, and breathe here. If you feel like you're in a back bend, tuck your tailbone a little bit, even if it means standing up a little bit more. One more breath, one more. All right, come on up. Heel to the feet closer together. So let's have the heels just about as wide as the outsides of your hips, and toes a little wider again than your heels. We're gonna come down to squat. So take your time to get there. Hands can always come down first. Sits bones headed towards the ground. If your heels lift, no worries. If you wanted to, you could roll up a blanket or towel for under the heels. Or you can even sit up on something, books, blocks, pillows. I like to press my elbows into the insides of my knees. My knees are squeezing right back into the heart. It's easy to come into your turtle shell here. Try to reach your head on out. Poking out into the world, taking a deep breath. Now this is going to become forward fold. So hands can come to the ground. Lean a little weight into your hands so you can lift the hips up. You can heel toe the feet a little closer in together and just hang out in your fold. Again, straighter legs, more stretch in the back of the legs, hamstrings. Bend to knees, more stretch for the back body, lower back. You can play around here with movement. Slowly round yourself up to standing. And you can come to the top of your mat. Both feet grounding down. Even think about picking up the toes, spreading them, letting each one root down. And then inhale, reaching arms out and up. Take up a bunch of space here. And as you exhale, bend your elbows and let them come back and down. So I'll show you the front view. We're reaching up. The inhale, out and up. Exhaling, bending the elbows, letting them come back and down. Let's do that 3 more times with your pace of breath. All right, reaching both arms up, we're going to do a little side stretch. So we're going to hold the left wrist with the right hand, reach the hands over to the right, hips can sway a bit to the left, maybe the gaze is looking upward, wherever the neck is comfortable, and come back up. Let's do the other side, grabbing opposite wrist, swaying over. Lovely, reaching up, and exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Hands can press into the tops of the legs. Crown of the head reaching away from the hips. And fold forward again. Both hands can come down. Set both your feet back. Find the plank. Knees up or down. Breath in and exhale to slowly lower. Inhale, lifting the heart however much you'd like. And exhale back to your downward dog. Last one. Hips up and back. Hands and feet pressing down into the mat. Take 3 rounds of breath here. Feel free to sigh out your exhales. Knees to the ground, wide knees, maybe about as wide as your mat. Big toes together to touch. Child's pose, sitting back towards the heels, heart and head melting towards the ground. Maybe the forehead can rest on something again, and you can rock your head side to side here for one last little forehead massage. Plenty of space for the belly to expand with your breath in. And taking some full, complete breaths out. And from here, we're just going to slither forward to lie down on our bellies. And we're going to reach, see what's easier to see first. Reach the left arm out to the left side, palm down, just an extension of the shoulder here. Left cheek can rest down onto the ground. And we're going to roll into our left hip, and your right foot can step back behind you. So we're rolling towards the left hand. This is a big stretch for the left side of the chest, that shoulder, lengthening all of those spots that shorten up when we're hunching over screens and whatnot. So you want to take some deep breaths as you're here. If it ever feels painful or tingly, just roll back towards your belly to relieve some of that pressure. Slowly rolling back to the belly. We're just going to do the other side. Reaching right arm out, palm down, right cheek down, and roll to your right hip. To the side of that hip, step the left foot back behind you. Find your breath. Head's just resting onto the ground. Sometimes if you feel like it doesn't quite make it, even your other fist can come under your head. It's like a little makeshift pillow. Couple more breaths. Slowly back towards your belly. We're going to roll over onto the back. So however you want to lie down on your back, just shuffling there, nothing fancy. Let's take a moment to hug our knees into our chest. You can roll around for a little roly-poly practice. And anything goes here with the knees, let them move in circles. Let the knees come wide as you hug in. Anything that feels like a nice stretch for the lower body. Feet to the ground. Maybe taking a little step closer in towards the body. We're going to come to bridge, so arms are alongside the body. With your inhale, feet press down as the hips lift up. So now we're a little bridge. We're going to pause here, keep pressing the feet down, lifting the hips. Imagine you're like squeezing some big books between your thighs. Release the glutes a little bit if they feel like they're doing all the work. There's always an option to clasp your hands behind the lower back. It's just an option. Take one more breath of lifting. And then you can take your time, one vertebra at a time, coming back down to the earth. Once you're grounded, knees can just sway side to side. We can heel toe the feet together to touch. And when the knees come wide, the soles of the feet can press together. I invite you to bring one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart, soften your gaze or close the eyes. And with the hands now, maybe you can feel that gentle expansion, the belly rising, ribs expanding, the heart lifting with a big inhale. And everything coming back to center with your exhale. Just allowing the body to come back to that soft heaviness. Pressing against the earth. She's got you. Even the jaw can release. Maybe you want to open the mouth wide, give it a little wiggle, helping it release any tension. That goes for any part of the body. You can always do a little wiggle, a little readjust, searching for that comfort and effortlessness. And always coming back to full breath. You can stay in this shape as long as you'd like. Or if you want to come right into Shavasana, you can just slide the legs out long. Or if there's any last little stretch that you need before our final relaxation, feel free to take a moment to check in with your body. Whenever you are ready to come towards Shavasana, make it extra comfy. Grab some pillows, blankets, lie down in any way that feels most relaxing to you. And eventually we'll all find Shavasana, that effortless rest, where we remember that not only is it okay to become still, it's productive to rest, to take this time to take care of ourselves, to counterbalance all the swiftness and action and movement of our day with this soft, heavy stillness. Take a last few deep breaths, maybe longer exhales than inhales. You can breathe in for 4 and breathe out for 6. And that counting even helps focus the mind on each breath. Eventually, even the breath gets to become effortless. Just trusting in those natural rhythms, natural flows, not just of the breath, but every system within your body. We're so grateful for that keeps us alive and healthy. It all works for us, and we get to rest within it. If you ever notice there's effort or tension anywhere, send it a breath. Let it begin to release with an exhale. Attend to the skin as a subtle boundary containing vastness. Enter that pulsing immensity. Discover that you are not separate from anything there. There's no inside, There is no outside. There is no other. No object to meditate upon that is not you. Just allowing yourself some extra few moments of stillness, of silence to rest in your Shavasana. Now gently just beginning to deepen your breath. Coming back to that fullness, expansion, and gentle release. Just taking a couple deep breaths, even in stillness, until you feel ready to bring movement, small movement to the fingers, toes, wrists, and ankles. Maybe a big stretch, reaching legs long, arms up overhead, full body. And then hugging knees into your chest, rolling to one side. Taking a moment there before coming up to a comfortable seated position. Once seated, we'll gather our hands together at our hearts, Big cleansing breath in with a big sigh out. Thumbs to forehead as we call in awareness and positive thought and clear creative vision. Down to our lips as we express our personal truth, love, and boundaries. And back to our hearts as we continue to find our balance again and again. Continue to love fully and fearlessly, finding strength and courage within compassion and vulnerability for ourselves and each other as we connect to all of life. Thank you for showing and sharing this practice. It is always an honor to do the yoga with you all.